Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, may I kindly request that you take your seats as we begin our program for the evening.
We sincerely apologize for the late start and crave your indulgence as we begin the joint launch for OECS and Carry Secure 2.0. Please stand for the playing of the national anthem of the United States of America.
And Barbuda. Welcome Pastor Winston Joseph to lead us in invocation.
Thank you. Let's please bow our heads for a word of prayer. Just want to remind us that Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, I know the thoughts that I think for you, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give every single one of us a future and a hope. Our heads are bowed, our eyes are closed. Almighty Father and our God, we approach your throne even now, recognizing that you are Lord and recognizing that you are King of kings. I pray even right now, oh God, just as we come to you, we ask your assistance in the launch of these two programs, oh God. Even right now, we pray, Lord, that you'll be with every single individual here with their heads bowed. You care for us. And I pray even now, as our young people are being highlighted throughout the day, I pray, God, that you'll give them the opportunity to benefit from these two events. Thank you, Lord, for what you're going to do for us today. We pray for all who is represented here, ministers of government, OECS, oh God, every single individual, all the stakeholders that are here. We pray, oh God, that they'll put our young people first and continue to lift them up that they may be secured. Every single participant of tonight's program, oh God, we ask you even now that you give them the right things to say, the encouragement that we need. I pray, Lord, that you'll continue to benefit our individuals. You care for us because you say that you've created us in your very own image. I pray, Lord, as we launch forward in this program, Lord, that you will be highlighted also and you will be lifted up. Thank you for what you're going to do tonight. Thank you for the participants, oh God, and thank you for those who have invested in this program. Thank you again, we pray. In Jesus' precious name, amen.
You can be seated. Members of the Cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda and of the OECS member states, Director General of OECS Commission, His Excellency Dr. Didacus Jules, members of the Judiciary, Permanent Secretaries, Regional and Developmental Partners, Heads of Departments and Senior Officials, Trafficking in Persons Task Force, officials from USAID, staff OECS Commission, staff UNDP, Pastor Winston Joseph, youth representatives and participants, representatives from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the official launch of the OASIS and Carry Secure 2.0 projects, two innovative initiatives aimed at reducing youth crime and empowering young people in Antigua and Barbuda. My name is Brianna Anthony, and I'm delighted to be your mistress of ceremony this evening.
And I am Yusuf Stafford, your master of ceremony for today's proceedings. We will now hear from Mr. Mervyn Farrow, USAID Eastern and Southern Caribbean Regional Representative, who will give us a high-level overview of these transformative programs.
Good evening. Almost feel like it's a Hollywood launch. Very nice, very nice. It is a pleasure to be here tonight with you all. Please allow me to adopt the protocol that has already been established. The U.S. government is proud of its long-standing partnership with the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda. Through the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, or CBSI as it's commonly known, United States and Antigua and Barbuda work together to reach shared development goals to strengthen citizen security and prevent youth crime and violence. In partnership with the government of Antigua and Barbuda, the private sector, civil society organizations, and youth, and in cooperation with other international development partners, USAID has strategically designed two programs to respond to the development priorities and challenges that this country is facing today. Allow me to expand on them here. First, the Carry Secure 2.0 project will reduce human trafficking, or trafficking in persons as it is formally known. Through this project, the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP, on behalf of USAID, will work with various agencies in Antigua and Barbuda to improve their capability to identify, investigate, and prosecute cases of human trafficking. This project also focuses on supporting policies and interventions to protect vulnerable populations, reduce crimes that exploit and dehumanize victims for profit, and it will help hold perpetrators responsible. The second project is the Opportunities to Advance and Support Youth for Success, or OECS program, which will be implemented by the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Commission. Building upon the previous Juvenile Justice Reform Project, OECS focuses on strengthening the juvenile justice system by helping Antigua and Barbuda to fully implement its child justice and, to help it fully implement its child justice and protection laws, supporting rehabilitation centers and implementing diversion programs that assist the reintegration of youth leaving rehabilitation facilities into their families and communities. We believe the combined impact of these two programs will improve safety and security in Antigua and Barbuda. Our efforts will be coordinated on the ground by our implementing partners, the UNDP and the OECS Commission. These partners each have a long history in development assistance, and USAID is pleased to work with them in leading these programs in Antigua and Barbuda and in other Caribbean countries. USAID strongly believes in a consultative approach. For us, this means that the lived experiences of Antigua and Barbuda's citizens, as well as their aspirations, expertise, and priorities, shape equitable, inclusive, and sustainable responses to development challenges. This is why USAID-funded programs have been designed with the active participation of Antigua and Barbuda's young people. Let me say in closing, USAID is committed to working with Antigua and Barbuda to ensure that this country's youth have the resources to reach their full potential and contribute positively to society. Thank you very much for your attention.
As we learn about the OASIS and the Carry Secure 2.0 programs, let's remember that investing in our youth is the key to a brighter future. By empowering young people, we not only reduce youth crime, but we also create a more just, equitable, and prosperous society.
Now, let us welcome Ms. Juliet Solomon, representing UNDP, to the stage to share her insights on the collaboration between UNDP and the government of Antigua and Barbuda in implementing the Carry Secure 2.0 project.
Thank you, and may I also be allowed to adopt the protocols already established. Good evening. It is an honor to join you here this evening, representing UNDP and Carry Secure 2.0, a citizen security project which promotes and facilitates the use of data in crime prevention and response decision-making and policy. This second phase of the Carry Secure program will include a greater focus on the complex causes of trafficking in persons, also known as TIP, in the region. which calls for a strategized and holistic approach led by governments, frontline agencies, and stakeholder organizations. These responses must be evidence-based, as a lack of adequate data is a major factor in many countries' ability or inability to properly put into focus the type of problem, the size of the problem, and the source of the problem. In Antigua and Barbuda, we will use insights gained from the collection and analysis of data to fight the growing scourge of trafficking in persons, which present major risks to human rights and citizen security. This project, funded through the United States Agency for International Development and implemented by the United Nations Development Program, addresses this and stands ready to boost national capacity by offering technical experience and resources to support anti-tip efforts in beneficiary countries. In Antigua and Barbuda, this will involve training on tip screening, investigation, and case file preparation, with specialized training on the interviewing of victims as well as victimless prosecution. CariSecure 2.0 is also able to assist in the design, commissioning, or implementation of industry standard hardware or software needed to warehouse and analyze data, and with tools and resources to expedite and improve prosecution of tip cases. It is our hope that this comprehensive effort towards addressing these issues will reap real rewards, with instruments that can be legislated into policy, creating a sustainable solution which benefits generations to come. Policy which responds to instances of trafficking in persons in Antigua and Barbuda and, more importantly, seek to prevent it. We have been encouraged by the government of Antigua and Barbuda's willingness to get involved with this project, especially through our focal point ministry, the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Public Safety, Immigration, and Labor. And we had a very fruitful discussions yesterday with the National Tip Prevention Task Force to discuss targeted support that can be provided. We have learned through experience that a project is only truly successful and sustainable once a country gets fully involved in its design and implementation and adopts it as its own. We commend the government of Antigua and Barbuda for prioritizing anti-trafficking efforts, and we look forward to working with all stakeholders that we will meet in the coming months and going forward. Also of importance, along with protecting its citizens and strengthening institutional citizen security capacity, there is a valuable opportunity for Antigua and Barbuda through CariSecure 2.0 to improve its standing on the watch list of the International Trafficking in Persons report, while also making strides towards the UN's Sustainable Development Goal 16. I reaffirm the commitment of the UNDP and of CariSecure 2.0 to go forth and fight the good fight with Antigua and Barbuda against crime and for the safety of Antiguans and Barbudans. I thank you.
When organizations and governments come together in partnership, we can achieve extraordinary results. The collaboration between UNDP and the government of Antigua and Barbuda demonstrates the power of unity in addressing the challenges facing our youth.
We are honored to have Dr. Didacus Jules, the Director General of the OECS, who will share his thoughts on the OECS project and how it can impact the youth justice landscape. Dr. Jules.
Long time since we last saw. Like everyone else, I'd like to acknowledge the protocol already established and to extend greetings to all invitees to this joint launch of the two USAID projects. the opportunities to advance and support Youth for Success project and Carry Secure 2, as you've heard. Member states of the OECS have been experiencing an increase in the level of crime in recent years. And according to the report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the murder rate in the Caribbean region is more than 3 times higher than the global average, with most of the homicides occurring in small island states. While the impact of COVID-19 pandemic has further exacerbated these issues, the consequential economic downturn has fueled increased desperation and criminal activity. The causes of the high crime rate in the OECS, however, are complex and multifaceted and include poverty, unemployment, drug trafficking, the impact of external factors such as the spillover effects of the drug trade from nearby countries and the presence of illegal firearms. In fact, just yesterday at the CARICOM heads meeting on crime, the issue of illegal firearms entry into the Caribbean was a matter of primary concern. Gang activity and inadequate social services. While the crime rate in Antigua and Barbuda itself is comparatively lower than that of other OECS member states, it is still important to recognize the need for a proactive and focused approach to address the issues. And I don't think I need to point out to this audience that the OECS free movement regime allows for the easy movement of citizens to live, work, play, reside, whatever, in any of the OECS member states. And Antigua distinguishes itself by the ease of that movement of nationals. The population of Antigua has some of the highest proportions of OECS nationals living here. So notwithstanding your low crime rate, as we say in St. Lucian Creole, le bab kamawado pwidi fe wuze sao. When your comrade's beard is on fire, wet your own. So the research conducted by the Caribbean Development Bank as well, CDB, in 2017, highlighted the issue of young males as perpetrators and the need for rehabilitation. The study revealed that males between the ages of 15 and 29 were responsible for the highest rates of crime, including violent crime and drug-related offenses. Data from various Caribbean countries consistently show that young men are overrepresented in the prison population, and I'm sure that obtains for all Caribbean countries. That is the reality that the Oasis initiative is designed to help change. It is aligned as well with the 7 strategic pillars of the OECS Youth Empowerment Strategy, or what we call OECS for Youth Empowered Strategy, YES. And namely, and these acronyms have been developed by the young people themselves. Yes, I Matter, which is about child and youth protection. Yes, I Learn, education and training. Yes, I Earn, employment and entrepreneurship. Yes, I Express, creativity and culture. Yes, I Move, healthy lifestyles and sports. Yes, I Inherit, environment and sustainable development. And yes, I Belong, citizenship and identity. Oasis will run from October 2022 to October 2026, and will focus on 3 expected outcomes. They include 1, the diversion of children and youth from the formal court systems. Secondly, the empowerment of children and youth in conflict with the law through opportunities that support rehabilitation and prepare them for a successful future. And thirdly, successful reintegration of youth into their families and communities. We want to emphasize that while there's often a reflex public outcry for swift and severe justice for perpetrators of especially violent crime, governments should be mindful of international agreements. The UN, the UNCRC, Beijing rules, the RIDA guidelines that set out standards, rules, and guidelines for the treatment of children and youth by the justice system. It is important to note that compliance with these agreements will help to move away from punitive measures to more child-friendly approaches, which will provide opportunities for diversion, rehabilitation, and reintegration of youth in conflict with the law. We should therefore have greater adoption of a restorative justice approach. The rehabilitation of youth offenders is important for several reasons, including the fact that harsh punishment has been shown statistically to be ineffective in deterring crime, and addressing the roots of crime can help prevent youth crime in the first place. The OECS therefore builds on the work done by the JJRP to transform youth justice system to provide opportunities for diversion, rehabilitation, and reintegration of youth in conflict with the law. As a result, the project will continue the work started through the JJRP with the revision and/or enactment of child-friendly legislation as the first step in creating a landscape for the protection of children and all young people in Antigua and Barbuda and the other OECS member states. One of the beauties of this collaboration with OECS and USAID is that even if we may focus on 2 or 3 OECS countries, legislation of that nature becomes harmonized legislation across the entire OECS. To achieve the ambitious goals of the OECS project, we must work together to revise and update our legislation in line with evidence-based best practices in the field of youth justice. This is where we need society-wide, unwavering support and collaboration. By enacting or revising progressive legislation, we can shift our focus from punitive to rehabilitation and restorative justice, which have been proven to be more effective in reducing recidivism rates and fostering positive outcomes for youth offenders. It will also create a supportive framework for diversion and alternative sentencing options, such as community service. What better way to deal with a young delinquent rather than put him away for 3 months in jail, to send him to sweep the streets of St. John's for the next 4 months, so he's making a contribution to the society. So options such as these, which can help to also ensure that our justice system considers the unique developmental needs and vulnerabilities of young people by establishing specialized courts and probation services that adhere to the principles of child and youth-centered justice. Fourthly, to strengthen the protection of young offenders' rights by guaranteeing their access to legal representation, timely hearings, and in many cases in other OECS countries, timely hearings is an issue, and fair trial standards, while also safeguarding their privacy and confidentiality in judicial proceedings. Fifthly, to encourage cross-sectoral collaboration between the justice system, the social services, education, and community organizations to create a comprehensive and integrated approach to the youth justice reform. This can help ensure that young people receive the necessary support to overcome the challenges they face and reach their full potential. We extend profuse appreciation to USAID for its support over the years, and we encourage other partners to join the movement in better responding to the needs of the region's young persons across sectors. Lastly, we reiterate very strongly the need to invest in our young people in a holistic manner if we are to curb crime and violence. I thank you.
Regional collaboration is essential in tackling the complex issues that transcend national borders. By joining forces, we can make a more significant impact and create lasting change for our youth and the entire Caribbean region.
As we celebrate the launch of these impactful projects, let us now enjoy a steel pan musical presentation by Mr. Jaffron Bartley.
The resilience and strength of our youth are testaments to the potential that lies within each of them. By nurturing their talents and supporting their growth, we can create a future where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential.
At this time, we now welcome Sir Malwin Morgeson Joseph to share his remarks on how the OASIS project will benefit Antigua and Barbuda.
Good evening, everyone. Let me join the others in adopting the protocol already established. Safe to say that I must recognize my friend Didicus Jules, one of the outstanding public servants in the OECS. Mr. Director, welcome to Antigua and Barbuda. And I also extend welcome to the representatives of the United States of America. This is a conversation that we all should be participating in, how we save the youth of the world. I recall when I was going to secondary school that I heard of the United States AID, and that was launched by President Kennedy back on the 3rd of November, 1961. That's about 60 plus years ago. The world has changed. The world has changed in significant ways that's having tremendous transformative impact on young people. The USAID program must be seen in the context of investment in youth and not the traditional standard of USAID. And I make this point because we have become global citizens through major developments. Number one, transportation. In 1961, I could not reach the farthest reaches of the globe in 36 hours. I can do that today. In 1961, we did not have the level of communication that we do today. We have the World Wide Web, and we have the cell phone. We have placed the entire influence of the world on our youth, whether it's good or bad. So what we are talking about tonight is investment in the youth and how we prepare them to negotiate this difficult world. Until the last election, I was only responsible for a few subject areas: health, wellness, and the environment. Now I have to take on the responsibility of social transformation. And in that short period of time, I've developed an even keener appreciation for what is happening to our young people and what they're exposed to. And I've been humbled because I was more critical at one point of the young people. Why do they behave a certain way? Why are we seeing such deviancies? Why our young people values seem to change? These are the realities. And society have a responsibility to support the young people in negotiating these influences. Some of the influences are so strong, even in the marketplace, the way the young people are marketed to, the influences that they're exposed to as consumers. the type of entertainment they're exposed to. When I was a youngster, back in the 60s and the 70s, I did not have to negotiate myself through all these difficulties. And so we have to welcome the initiative of the United States government in this particular area. Traditionally, it would be in areas of infrastructure development, areas of education, specifically through the Peace Corps. But there could not be a better investment than the investment in our youth in the area of preparing them for this complex and difficult world. Small islands such as in the OECS, and by the way, Dr. Jules, 40% of the population of Antigua is made up of people from CARICOM. 40% of our population. Antigua is the most open society in the entire CARICOM arrangement. And it is important that Antigua gets the support. And you know, I would say to you, crime has no boundaries. And the influences on our young people is one of the greatest challenges that we face. And in these small, fragile economies, we can hardly find the financial resources to address youth issues in the OECS. And when you combine the challenge of the recent phenomenon of global warming and the consequences, where we have to spend scarce resources in recovery from disasters. And I want to recognize the role of the UNDP in this context, because we're still reeling from the 2017 hurricane in Barbuda. But the point is, why these programs are important, at any given time, such as in 1995 when we have one hurricane, it wiped out the entire year of GDP in Antigua and Barbuda. The entire year of GDP. And this is recurring time and time again. But if you have to spend your scarce resources in dealing with rebuilding your country, then you will appreciate the context that and the importance personally the government of Antigua and Barbuda places on programs such as CARISOR and OASIS. In Antigua and Barbuda, we continue to make the security of our youth a priority. We appreciate the support that we are getting from the USAID and specifically the government of the United States. But I would wish for all of us to see this in a global context. We are global citizens now. That's what it comes down to. We are global citizens. Whatever impacts the Caribbean impacts developed countries. If we have youths who are not well adjusted, and the youth who are not trained to be law-abiding citizens, they can be problems when they go to other countries. So we have, and vice versa. So we have a great interest in ensuring that our youth get the best chance of negotiating the world and at the same time develop as productive citizens. The other point I would wish to make is how we harness the different institutions in our society, the different organizations in our society, and bringing to bear a level of support. And I want to make an appeal to all institutions, all organizations, to make it a priority to structure programs to have positive influence on our young people. And that includes faith-based organizations. Why faith-based organizations? We know in Antigua and Barbuda, when we had strong homes, we have well-managed schools, and we had churches that were involved in the development of our young people, our society was far better than what we are seeing today. So I welcome the initiatives, and I want the message to be conveyed to the government of the United States that we deeply appreciate the support, and especially in the context of the organization in the Eastern Caribbean states. I look forward to collaborating with our other OECS states and our partners in the OECS, and this will take a collaborative effort. I look forward in collaborating with the NGOs in Antigua and Barbuda, law enforcement, education, all the disciplines in our society need to be brought to bear on how we have wholesome development of our young people. I want to thank you for the opportunity to share these thoughts and hope that the conversation continues. Thank you very much.
When we provide our youth with the tools and opportunities they need to thrive, we are fostering a generation of change makers who will drive progress and innovation for many years to come.
We now invite Mrs. Joan Carrot, Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of National Security, to share remarks on behalf of the Honorable Stedroy Olivero Benjamin, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Public Safety, and Immigration.
Good night to all. Please allow me to observe the protocols already established, and I wish to apologize for the absence of the Honorable Attorney General, Stedroy Benjamin. I now read the Honorable AG's remarks. The government of Antigua and Barbuda identifies the trafficking in persons as a major threat to society. Human trafficking is a global problem and is viewed as a serious crime that violates human rights of trafficked persons. Reflecting on recent events that occurred near the shores of Antigua and Barbuda has highlighted even more the need to strengthen mechanisms to tackle these tragedies. One way that human trafficking occurs is when a trafficker transports a person from one country to another for the purpose of exploitation. A trafficker can also operate as a professional working with a small semi-organized group or as an amateur working alone. A trafficker may be a stranger, a friend of the family, a parent, an uncle, a sister, a boyfriend, a labor contractor, a diplomat, a career criminal, or a business executive. The purpose or purposes for which traffickers use the people they traffic may vary, but the ultimate goal of all traffickers is the same. They exploit other human beings for profit, which can be a financial gain or material benefit. The purpose tends to be either for sexual exploitation or forced labor. Documented and undocumented migrants from the Caribbean region were identified as victims of sex trafficking and forced labor in previous years. Authorities reported in previous years that traffickers exploited victims in multi-destination trafficking, arriving in Antigua and Barbuda for a few months before their traffickers exploited them in other Caribbean countries. Persons may enter Antigua and Barbuda clandestinely or through the use of fraudulent documents. Antigua and Barbuda is committed to viewing human trafficking as a serious crime which violates the human rights of trafficked persons and is taking steps to implement the 4 Ps of human trafficking. I now highlight the 4 Ps of human trafficking. The first being prevention. Preventing and combating human trafficking through public awareness and educational programs, poverty reduction, and discouraging demand for the labor or services of trafficked persons. The second, protection. Protecting and assisting those who have been trafficked by providing physical safety, legal information, and protection of their privacy and identity. The third, prosecution. Prosecuting the traffickers by enacting laws that make trafficking human beings a crime. Training law enforcement and other authorities on how to identify traffickers and protecting the rights of trafficked persons. The last being partnership. Promoting cooperation and partnerships among countries in order to effectively meet the needs and goals of protection, prevention, and prosecution. I now highlight the implementation of the 4 Ps. The Human Trafficking in Persons Unit in Antigua and Barbuda is committed to implementing the 4 Ps. This unit comprises the Commissioner of Police, the Director of the ONDCP, the Chief Immigration Officer, and the Director of Gender Affairs, Family and Social Services, thereby providing a multi-agency approach to both monitoring and tackling trafficking in persons. To this end, Carry Secure 2.0 will bolster state capacity to identify, screen, investigate, and prosecute trafficking cases and provide resources and technical support to Antigua and Barbuda. Indeed, the further development of the Trafficking in Persons Unit will assist in building the nation's capacity in stemming the crime by integrating the work of the Border Police and Immigration, as well as the Social Transformation Unit that refers victims to the trauma units of hospitals and healthcare facilities. The government currently provides temporary resident status as an alternative to removal to countries where victims may face hardship or retribution by traffickers. However, if a victim decides to remain in Antigua and Barbuda, the unit assists with resettlement. On the other hand, if a victim opts to return home, the unit assists with repatriation, including coordinating with counterparts in the receiving country. The assistance and protection provided by the Trafficking in Persons Unit is not contingent with a victim's cooperation and investigation and/or prosecution proceedings. It also works with other stakeholders and agencies, thus adopting a holistic and integrated approach to this problem. Support and referral mechanisms are put in place to assist victims of trafficking and to provide them with both financial assistance and counseling. Work has already been done to strengthen the legislative framework with the passing of the Trafficking in Persons Amendment Act 2019. This act strengthens the powers and responsibility of the Trafficking in Persons Prevention Committee, and this committee has been established since 2019. As a part of its mandate, the committee complies and publishes an annual report on trafficking prevention. This annual report is shared with the Overseeing Office of the United States Department. The government has maintained prevention efforts, and it continues to carry out public awareness activities through billboards, public service announcement, media appearances, social media workshops, and knowledge exchanges. Antigua and Barbuda has also developed a robust sensitization program which runs the gamut from awareness training workshops for frontline officials to sensitizing presentations to schools and community groups. Over the last 4 years, more than 750 officials from the police, ONDCP, immigration, customs, airport security, labor department, hospital emergency room, and the taxi association have received sensitization training. The Carry Secure funds and technical support will allow the government of Antigua and Barbuda to improve the trafficking in person data collection and reporting through the provision of hardware and software in the counter-trafficking units. In concluding, the aforementioned covers the assistance, settlement, recovery, return to society, and other issues regarding the victims of human trafficking. In order to respect and secure the basic rights of victims of human trafficking, especially their rights to be identified and to be assisted, it is necessary to uphold the fundamental principle centered around the victims of human trafficking and to satisfy the requirements such as actively intervening and fulfilling duties in accordance with the law. In the words of Pope Francis, human trafficking is, and I quote, an open wound on the body of temporary society, end of quote. Indeed, trafficking in persons is a crime against humanity. It feeds on inequalities, instability, and conflict. It is a scourge on society that we must combat, and together with international partners such as USAID, UNDP, through Carry Secure 2.0, the government of Antigua and Barbuda will succeed in its effort to resolve the problems of human trafficking on its shores, and along with other countries, work towards putting an end to this global crisis. Thank you.
A society that invests in its young people's safety and well-being is a society that believes in a brighter future for all. Let us continue to work together to uplift and empower our young people.
In the spirit of continuing to celebrate the launch of these two innovative projects, let us now be entertained by the Antigua Girls High School Honeybee Theater with an original drama piece.
for us to follow.
But then you turn your back as we fall low. We're not here to blame you. But as old people say, and it is true,
You can give pick me everything but a mind.
but mind us, we are not blind to the way you speak about each other and the way you speak about yourself. You see, all we need is kindness and a guiding hand, so that if we mess up, it is not the end. Some of us will fall down, but it's up to you to help us get back up again. Help us to help ourselves and become contributing members of society then.
We need healthy ways to grow. But if you don't help us, we do not know that violence is not the answer. And the dark things we feel inside can be transformed to positive things that is not going to break the laws.
For it's not every time we can control everything. It's not every time we can control the laws.
Sometimes we just need somebody to guide us, to put
Sometimes,
us into perspective.
sometimes we need someone to help us.
Someone to guide us with hope. Someone to be there for us. Someone that have time and show us love and appreciation.
Just because we messed up doesn't mean we've forget, or doesn't mean that we've
Expired our luck. Don't disregard our potential.
Just yet.
I may have made a
time.
mistake.
I may have made a mistake, but just give me one more chance.
You'll see.
I can grow.
Let me show you my potential. I am still essential to your future.
And mine.
But start now.
While we still have time. We still have
We
time.
still have time. While we still have time. We still have time. We still have time. While we still have time. We still have time.
That could have been me. That should have been me. It's not fair she has people who loves her and who wants her to do her best. Why not me? Why not me? How am I any different? You know what? You know what? You know what happened? I grew up to be a bully. I'm always angry and I'm always getting in trouble with the law. I don't care who I hurt. But why not me? I have more to offer too. Why not me? Why not me?
No! There is still hope. There is still hope. There is still hope. There is still hope. You see this young lady right here? I was once her. I was lost, scared, confused, and I was without guidance. I was going down the wrong road, following the wrong crowd. But all it took was that one person to believe in me. I graduated high school. I even went off to university. And now, I help people like her. People who are like me. I don't think you understand how important this project is to the youth. To know that they have someone to lean on, to trust, someone to confide in. All they need is a little guidance. What they need is you. They need me. They need us. Not only to encourage them, but to be a listening ear, especially for those who may seem lost, but all they've lost is hope.
Many times in life it ain't easy to think of how we're gonna pull through. And many days are filled with darkness and Giving up seems easy to do. But then we go on our knees, crying to the sky, save me. But take a moment to listen to me. Let me provide you with some hope for today. I know blue skies are coming, through the rough storm we'll see the sun. I know that times seem hard, and many hearts are aching, but have some hope that tomorrow's gonna come. Oh, 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 oh. We see the struggle, watch the news on TV. So many places in the world of hardship and poverty. It no matter if you're rich and have a uni degree, or if you're just a mother trying to make ends meet. Boy, in times like these, we need love and unity. It's the only thing that blocks out the negativity. We need more kind hearts in this society. A smile on the face would be priority. Together we will go on our knees, praying for each other's safety. But take a moment to listen to me. Let me provide you with some hope for today. I know blue skies are coming, through the rough storm we'll see the sun. I know that times seem hard, and many hearts are aching, but have some hope that tomorrow's gonna come.
The creativity and passions of our youth are truly inspiring. Let us always encourage and support their artistic expressions as a vital part of our cultural heritage.
As we close the curtains on today's proceedings, I now invite Mr. Nathan Wilfred to do the vote of thanks.
Good evening to all. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and fellow youth, as I stand here before you, it is both an honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has played a role in making today's joint launch of OECS and Carry Secure 2.0 in Antigua and Barbuda a reality. My name is Nathan Wilfred. I am from St. Lucia. I am a proud member of the USAID-ESC Youth Council, which is a grouping of 15 young people from across the region that find ways to support the work USAID does in the region. As a young person from St. Lucia, I never imagined that I would have been given this opportunity to travel across the Caribbean and participate in events like these. I am very excited about today's launch, as I understand the impact that programs like OASIS and Carry Secure 2.0 can have on lives of young people in the region. Our heartfelt thanks go to the Honorable Sir Malwin Joseph, Senior Minister of Health, Wellness, Social Transformation, and the Environment, as well as the Honorable Stedroy Cutie Olivero Benjamin, Attorney General and the Minister of Legal Affairs, Public Safety, Immigration and Labor, for their insightful remarks, unwavering support for the OECS and Carry Secure 2.0. Your dedication to empowering our youth is commendable, and we are grateful for your leadership. I have personally experienced the transformative power of our USAID-supported initiatives like the Juvenile Justice Reform Program, also known as JJRP. Through JJRP support, I and many others like me have been given the tools and support to seize the endless possibilities that life has to offer. I am proud to say that I have been able to accomplish Level 1 Caribbean Vocational Skill Training Examination, also known as CVQ. This has put me one step closer to opening a welding shop in my community. That I have dreamt of all my life. Through this shop, I hope to employ other young men to help them steer and direct them in the right direction. For this, I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to Mr. Mervyn Farrow and the United States Agency for International Development, also known as USAID, who as the primary donor for these initiatives, has shown unwavering commitment to the betterment of young people in our region. USAID's generous financial support and guidance have been instrumental in shaping these projects, and their impact will be felt for generations to come. To our distinguished guests, Ms. Juliet Solomon from UNDP and Dr. Didikas Jules, Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Your valuable insight and contribution have undoubtedly enriched our discussion today. And we look forward to working together to create a brighter future for our young people. The inspirational invocation by Pastor Winston Joseph today reminded me of my daily routine, starting with a prayer. Thank you, Pastor Winston, for this reminder, which set the tone for our gathering today. We are grateful to the talented artist, Mr. Jaffon Bartley and Honeybee Theatre, who have shared their gifts with us today. Your performance have not only entertained, but also inspired us all to believe in the endless possibilities that awaits our youth. The government staff from the various ministries, including Permanent Secretary Sarah Stewart, Ms. Alifia Byers, and Ms. Karen Cabral, have demonstrated dedication to this important cause. Your effort have not gone unnoticed, and we are deeply grateful for your hard work. We cannot forget the service providers, such as the decorators, communication and audiovisual personnel, and the hotel staff, who have all played a vital role in making this event a resounding success. Your professionalism and expertise have been instrumental in ensuring a seamless and memorable experience for all attendees. As we conclude this event, let us remember that today makes not the end, but rather the beginning of an exciting journey towards a brighter, more prosperous future for the youth of Antigua and Barbuda. With the unwavering support of USAID, our government, partners organization, and community leaders, I am confident that we can achieve our goals and empower our young people to reach their full potential. Thank you once again to everyone who has made this event possible, and may we all continue to work together to unlock the endless possibilities that await our youth. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We hope that you have been inspired and motivated by the launch of these vital projects. Let us continue to work together to create a brighter future for our youth and our nation.
At this time, we also now invite dignitaries and development partners to the front for group photos as well. Thank you.